everyone? Hang on, is it okay? Okay. Yeah, good. Good morning. How's everyone feeling? Great. Let's hear some noise. Yeah, that's better. Okay. To begin with, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we are here today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and pay my respect to elders, past and present. Here in Nam, we have a long traditions of design, creativities, and innovations. And what I had on the screen is a drawing. Yes, it is. It is a drawing from the last chief of the Yayara tribe. His name is William Barak. And this is actually one of the 6 pieces, one of the bigger pieces as well, that the NGV has acquired back in 1999, I believe. And this piece is in 1899. But scan the QR code on screen, that will have a much better description of what this piece is about. And I think, just like accessibility inclusions, growing up, I didn't learn much about the history of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. I had a lot to unlearn and relearn. It's kind of like accessibility and inclusions as well. So I'm really glad that all of you are here today, showed up. Hopefully unlearn something and learn something and make some change, just like Kelly said, and maybe throw some marshmallows. Design with love. We often think about design as something like really big, complex, designing, user experience, customer experience, UI, like little pixels. But I think I want to pull that back a little bit today. I want to look at it in a different lens. What if design as an act of love, as in care, as in giving people the attention that they want, listen to them, as in a commitment of meeting people where they are, not they trying to, meet where you are. Often when we're talking about designing for people, but are we doing it properly? How well do you actually know your users? What about people that could be your users but currently excluded by you? So what I had on the screen is 2 sections, I guess. Designers are represented by circles and squares, and then you got people kind of represented by different shapes. Not just circle and squares, but all different shapes as well, like trapezium, triangles, the words that I don't use anymore because I'm not in primary school. But anyway, when we're designing for other people, it is unavoidable that we have our own biases and preferences. That, I think this button looks better because I like that. So when we create a product and services that we ourselves can see, touch, hear, understand, well, it tends to work well for people that with similar preferences or circumstances to us. But that it means that so many people are excluded because of that, and especially people with disabilities. Just like that, fade into the abyss. And this is happening because of a couple of reasons. People who are making those decisions first, maybe not fully representative of the diversity of the populations, or they're unaware of the lack of diversities, or they haven't had a chance to really open up and listen deeply. So if we're only relying on our own perspective, we end up designing for a much smaller group, a very small cohort, and unintentionally leaving many behind. And what you will end up is a product or service that works best for someone with a certain age group, gender, cultural background, tech literacy, physical abilities, and people who have access to money, time, and social network. You're designing for this much, like a small cohort is a big cohort. Some of you might think, hey, we don't just talk with our designers, peers, group of stakeholders. We also do testing with people. But are you recruiting intentionally for a really diverse cohort, like using services like Kelly services? If not, you are still designing for a much narrower group of people. And guess what? It's only a small amount of people can use it. You and people you maybe research with can use it, and the rest get left out. But it doesn't have to be this way. I'm going to share you a couple of stories and what happened when you design with love, design with empathy, and listen. 2014, I don't know, 10 years ago? Yes, that's 10 years ago, God. A Microsoft engineer called Matt Height, he was scrolling through Twitter and he saw something really interesting. It was a custom game controller, Xbox controller, quite similar to the one that in this one. I tried to find it on Twitter, can't find it. But there's a similar one that basically an Xbox controller that have like different, is connected to the Xbox controller, but you have like different buttons that are connected to it. It was a controller that was modified by Ken Jones, who is the founders of Warfighter Engage, a non-profit organization in the US that do modify gaming device for veterans with disabilities. So Ken was cracking this one up, and the controllers and remapping those tiny buttons to the controllers. And so that people with limited mobilities can still play easily, because nothing in the market really works for them. So Matt was curious, reached out to Ken. Chat becomes a conversation, and it becomes a quiet truth came out, and it's like something as simple as play isn't as simple anymore. It isn't simple for everyone. So Matt and a few others joined the next Microsoft Ability Summit and worked directly with Ken. They didn't start off with solutions. They started by asking, how do we meet people where they are? First prototype they were using Kinect, which is like a motion control, motion sensing thing, where it translates that motions into gameplay. It was okay. It was the first hackathon they did. It was not perfect, but it's a beginning. So from there, that leads to 2 more years of hackathon, iterative design, and not only change with the technology, but they also started having stakeholder buy-ins. That also changes people's mindsets as well. Teams shifted from retrofitting existing device like Kinect, but decided to do something completely new, flexible, and accessible from the ground up. It's not an add-on thing. They also didn't design in isolations. They were working with gamers with disabilities, nonprofits, and accessibility advocates as well. And as a result, 4 years after, here's the Xbox controller, as you can see on the screen. No, it's not a controller, it's adaptive control. It's a standalone hub that's designed to either fit, to sit on your lap, it's big enough, or it can be mounted on a wheelchair or put on a table. They have 2 large programmable buttons and 19 ports, so you can map different buttons to the hub, so that it adapts to individual users, not the other way around. And for many people, gaming is not just something to kill time, but for many, it is how people connect with friends, how to challenge themselves, have fun, and simply just escape life a little bit. You know, life is stressful. And these controllers wasn't there just to unlock games, but it allows people that they can participate, play, and feel truly seen. I'm going to tell you another story. Back in 2023, at ABC, we were testing our new search experience. We want to know, can blind and low vision users actually use it intuitively? We know that search is important. Search is usually last resort when people can't find what they need, right? We also are an emergency provider in a sense. So we want to make sure people don't spend too long trying to find the right information they need. So we spoke to 7 participants with their blind low visions, and we were expecting the journey to be, pretty seamless. How hard can it be? Find a search field, type in some search, select on a result, okay, look at it, see whether that works, right? Because kind of like what's on the screen right now in the grass field, because you can clearly see the path ahead. But for people with vision impairment, it was a much more complicated journey. A squiggly line all over the place. They have to constantly find a way around, trying to figure out where to go, and it's somewhat like an endless journey. And for some participants, using our search was exhausting. They were spending the precious energy trying to find the right thing. And one example I had is the spoon theory, if you're familiar with it. Each action, opening a page, finding a button, selecting a result, could potentially cost a spoon. And for people with limited energy, those spoons are precious. They might only have 5 to begin with, and they might need to use a spoon to eat breakfast, and that costs another energy. So we listen, and we make changes to the design, to the code, but also to how we write requirements going forward. They're not what we assumed, but actually how people use the website. So people don't have to lose more spoon than they needed to. And in doing that, we're saying, hey, I see you. I got you, man. I got you, girl. You belong here. And that's what love looks like in design. None of the grand gesture like, oh, I'm going to give you flowers. No, nothing like that, but simple design like doing changes and care and listen. No one's laughing, god damn it. And I want to remind you all that we have a duty of care and love as a designers. We hold so much power. And when we design with care, we're not only solving people's problems, but we are sending them a message that, hey, I got you, I hear you. And it's hard, sometimes it's easy to forget that a lot of the daily design decision that we make at the end are just human decision. And you get to choose who to include, who to exclude. Building accessibility in our product is how we express our love to our users. Just like with any relationships, it takes empathy and takes effort. It doesn't come for free. I want you to think of a person that is closest to you, not physically closest to you, but like in terms of like, someone that could be your partner, your families, and friends. You two might not be the same. You're going to have your differences, different ways of seeing the world, different ways of communicating. Kind of like my cats. He just freaking meows at me all the time, and I speak human language, and it's telling me that they want food. But even though our needs are different, we often want the same thing. We want to feel heard, we want to feel listened, we want to be understood, we want to be included. And both me and my cat also want snacks. But that's different needs, but same goal. When we design from that place, that shared purpose and not sameness, when we stop building things for feature's sake or just to compete with another company, we start building for a sense of belonging and inclusion for everyone. And that's what the Xbox controller is all about, enabling more people to play and play on their own terms, however they want it, or search, letting people to search the way that they like and not what we think it is. And every one of you sitting here today have the power to make that differences. Well, I assume that you get a choice to decide what get prioritized, what get built, and who get included. And with great power came great responsibility, All it takes is one conversation and to ask and not assumed. You don't have to be ahead of design, but if so, please hire designers that match the diversity within the populations. And if you say that, hey, we don't have budgets, well, guess what? The ABC have no budgets, and we can still do it. So you just need to care and do it. As Kelly said, don't ask for permission, just go ahead and do it. That's how I have inclusive design research at the ABC. So you just need to start asking yourself, like, whose voices are missing in this product? Like, who are we not talking to? Who are we unintentionally leaving out? And who is going to be relying on this the most? And why are they not in the room where we're doing testing? There's so much you can do. So start by inviting people in, especially people with disabilities, early in the process, not at the usability testing. Like, you can do discovery testing with them. It's fine. Make sure your participants really, truly reflect the true diversity of Australia, unless you're designing for, international companies, then the world, please. And they are the experts of how your product actually fits into their lives, not how you assume they would use. And don't wait for someone to tell you it's broken. They're not going to tell you that, like, in relationship, they might not tell you that this is not going well. They might just ghost you. So go out, ask, listen, learn, It takes intention, and it takes inclusion, takes empathy, and both takes practice. Don't just do it once. Keep on doing it again and again together. It is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So to kind of wrap up, what's going to happen if we put in the efforts? You stop designing for people, but you start designing with people. You're moving from assuming to understanding. Show people that, hey, you matter, not as an edge case or standalone exceptions, but part of the conversation from the very start. And design that sees you, hears you, understands you, and works for you, that's the kind of design that people stay loyal to. I'm going to tell you a secret. If you do that, your NPS score is going to go way up. Just saying that. And that's what love looks like in design. And you and your loved one will merge in and create a beautiful pineapple if you look from an interesting angle. But what if you don't put in the effort? Well, exclusion wasn't always visible. We can all feel it when we are getting excluded. So it's like being invited to a party, but they don't tell you where to come, what time to come. And things can be very technically accessible. 10 out of 10 meeting WCAG. This is my first mention of WCAG today, by the way. But not very useful. Just like a 20-page bank onboarding process. We all love that. These are not only annoying, but they are putting out barriers and shut people down completely. You're basically telling people that, hey, this is not made for you. I don't want you here. And people will walk away and leave, just like that. What's worse is that we will harm people along the way without realizing it. Design shouldn't cause people harm. And I did promise Nikhil to put a picture of my cat at the end. And here's my cat, Soba and Miso. I literally walk away for 2 seconds and they stole my chair. But they did keep the seat warm, so I kicked them out after that. Design is an act of love. But it's love that you have to work hard for. It doesn't come for free. You're going to work hard for it. It takes commitment. It takes curiosity. And it takes empathy. So Soba, Miso, and me encourage you to, well, keep listening. Keep inviting people in. Not only show them where the door is, but open the door for them, because maybe they don't know whether it's pull or push. It's not obvious. Use your power. You have so much power. You're here today. And design like it matters. Design with love. Thank you.